Elle, what's popping? How are you?
I'm so good. It's so good to see you again.
So good to see you. Tell me all the things that are happening with you. Tell me, I'm all ears right now.
The last time I saw you, I was a New York City girl, and now I am an LA girl through and through. Been living here, working on new music, and such a full circle moment. I wish I was in the studio with you, though.
Yes, you need to come by and make it official so we can like sit down and talk and peer into each other's eyes as we're talking.
I know I have a really fond memory of us in the studio, and I was wearing these like hot pink pants. I want to
Yes, yes. What made you make the transition from New York to LA, and was it a hard transition?
I've been coming to LA since I was 13 just to work on music and work with producers, audition or whatever it was. And I'd always wanted to finish my education. And right before COVID, I decided, you know what, I have these amazing opportunities. I just want to grab life by the horns, move to LA. And I was living here for a week. And then I came back home to New York because I had an EP release. And then COVID erupted. And so I stayed in New York for 2 years. And then once I was vaccinated, I was like, I'm doing the LA thing again. This is where I need to be just to be able to get my music done and work on these projects and in a way that's consistent and really nuanced. And it's really hard to do that when I'm coming for these like packed trips in these spurts. So being here has been amazing, but I don't know how to drive, so I miss New York.
Wait, you don't?
I don't. It's very, very bad.
I tell you what, there is something about living on the East Coast because I feel like I got my license late growing up in New Jersey. And I know that there are a lot of people a lot of friends that I have that live in New York that don't have driver's license because of mass transit. So
Yeah.
how have you been getting around?
I have friends drive me places, Uber. I'm in a walkable area, so that's
Hmm.
really nice for me. Sometimes I'll have a session and some writer or producer will like pick me up on the way. It's a struggle, but yeah, I driving in LA is a crazy thing. That's like a different beast. People
Oh,
are wild.
well, you know what it is. I think and it's the same thing when driving in New York. You got to commit to whatever you're going to do. So if you're going to make that turn, just commit to it and
No,
do it.
yeah, and I have really bad reflexes. Like if I see a car, even if it's like that's what it's supposed to be, like the car is coming towards you, I close my eyes, I close my ears, and I'm just like I can't take it.
Oh my gosh,
So no
getting
one
over.
wants me on the roads. That's for sure.
Now that you're telling me you're closing your eyes and whatnot, please stay. Get driven around. I don't need you on the
Yeah,
road,
yeah.
okay?
No.
Do you feel like the inspiration for writing hits differently in LA than New York?
I think that I'm just in such a creative mindset here and working every day on music that I feel a lot more inspired. And I know that the day I have an idea or a moment I write a song, I can really make a quick plan to get in and finish that and really develop that into a full idea. So I feel like in New York, I'd have these moments of inspiration and I couldn't really like latch onto them and carry them out. So I can really do that here, and it's just an amazing place. There's so much creativity, and everyone I had been working with my whole life on my last project, on this project, has been out here, and it's really cool because I can go into the studio and just work on one ad lib or one little line, and in a way I couldn't do, living on the East Coast. So
Why
I'm
do you,
very inspired here.
why do you feel like that you couldn't just latch on to the idea when living on the East Coast?
Well, I'd have to really like live with it because I'd have to wait till I'd get to the West Coast to work on it with more
Oh,
people. You know what I mean? So I couldn't like just have the idea next day, go to the studio, make a song about it. It'd be like, oh, okay, I'll work on that the next time I get in, and that will be in a month when I travel there. So it's amazing to be here, and so many amazing. Like I'm working on amazing visuals right now with a wonderful creative director, and we can just get together, hang out, and delve into these ideas. And there's just so many creative people in LA too. So
do you feel like there wasn't access to the studio in New York? Like you couldn't just get up and be like, it's hitting me. Let me run down to the studio or do something in New York as opposed to being here in LA.
yeah, just a lot of my collaborators are here in LA, the producers I work with, the writers. So I definitely, I got my start in New York, and I do attribute growing up in New York City to being able, to do this career, because there were so many amazing acting classes, singing classes, and just dance, lots of ways I could express myself. But in LA, I just feel like a lot of the people I ended up working with had all moved out here. I don't know what happened, because New York City, I felt like, used to be the hub of it all, but it really transitioned. So
So funny how people are moving out of New York and just migrating out to the West. Maybe it's a tad bit cheaper, tad bit
honestly,
more
palm
accessible.
trees, it's just like your worst day. You look outside, the sun is shining. I'm like, I can handle it. I can handle whatever the world throws at me.
Do you feel like the songs that you did out here are different than the songs that you did out in New York?
I think just this project I've been working on this past year. I was working on music during COVID, of course, in New York at home in lockdown, and I just felt like this project, I, had a new outlook on life, just being more open to opportunities and saying yes more, especially to coming out of a time where I'd felt so, closed off to so many things. So I think this project and this music I made out here definitely reflects this new perspective I have on life and just my growth as a person, as a human being. And there's a lot of self reflection during quarantine and everything. So I think you can really hear that through the stories told in this music that I made out here this past year.
I think it's really interesting that you were able to even, I guess, be creative during COVID because I did not want to do a damn thing.
Oh my God, it's all I could do to keep myself from going crazy. I was living, with my family, and I go into the basement and I'd have my guitar, my piano, my whole setup, and just write. And that's the only way, I that was my outlet, really. And I think a lot of people picked up creative outlets because it's just so therapeutic, just to be able to have somewhere to pour your emotions into.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Let's talk about this TikTok you in a wedding dress, please, 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 please. Okay, so when I first saw this, I was like, this is the level of petty that I aspire to be.
Yeah.
So, did we do this to get back at an ex, or did you just happen to do this?
Like me talking about all my growth as a person
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and petty. So I had used that dress. I was filming a video for a song I'm not releasing, but I had this footage of me in a wedding dress, and I'm like, something I probably would do would be to stage a photo shoot in a wedding dress, to get back at an ex who's moved on before me, to let them know that they haven't. And just, find ways to plead for help and show that you may need some help and intervening from family and friends, that you've reached new lows of pettiness.
Listen, I'm a petty Pisces, so I'm always coming up. One of my friends was going through a breakup, and I remember going through her text messages and pictures, and I was like, post that picture. Make it seem like you are going out on a date. Make it seem like that you've moved on. And clearly, she would just put on the clothes just to take them off after taking the picture. And she would send me the picture, and I'll be like, post that one. Here's the caption that you post. Right?
Yeah, some could call you an enabler, but I think you're a great friend.
Listen, I feel like if you have to get back at an ex, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a healthy relationship, you have to do just one last.
It's either that or you write a song about them and then hope the song does well. And then that's great. And then they hear it everywhere. That's the goal.
So when you write a song about an ex per se, right? Do you tell them that the song is about them, or when they're listening, they know it's about them?
I think they know it's about them. I would never tell anyone the song is about them because it's really about my own experience, like a song is, I have these emotions of how something affected me, someone affected me, and I let it out. And if they think that's about them, then maybe that says more about what their self-perception is. But I no writing songs out of pettiness, but I write for me, write about me. That's what it is.
You write about you because it's therapy and it almost helps with mental health per se.
It's true. It really does. It's especially if at the end of a relationship or something, anything that really is moving emotionally, just to have a way to express that is super important. I don't know what I would do without my songwriting.
Is it almost therapeutic? Yes.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just I think people who journal and write can also attest to that. It's super healing to be able to get out of your mind and put something on paper. And also, when something is so challenging or just moving, it doesn't have to be in a negative way. It's just so helpful to be able to like not have that all live inside you, and feels fulfilling to like have a product of it.
It's interesting because people say once you get out of your head, it's like you're releasing it and now it's down on the paper and it can get out of, it's no longer living in your head rent free.
Exactly. And then I have room for other better, more productive thoughts than these emotions. They're
Right.
gone. They're not with me.
So tell me about the song. Help.
Yes. So Help is the first song off my new project. And, I wrote Help at the start of this project and I just moved to LA and I'd done, as I was saying, a lot of self-reflection and I'd realized I'd gone so much of my life, putting everyone before me and acting as a shoulder for people in my life and putting pressure on myself to be this person that always appeared to have it all together and be perfect or whatever that means. But I decided, in making this new project and moving to LA, I had a choice to like start a new chapter and I could really decide to start living for myself and putting myself first and knowing that there's strength in asking for help. It's not a weakness and we're all deserving of support. We can lean on others and that's why we build these relationships in our lives. And you don't always have to have it all together all the time. So it was a really cathartic song for me. And when I sing it, I feel that way. And I hope people, resonate with it and know that it's okay to ask for help and you don't have to be perfect. What it even is perfect? It's not, there's no such thing.
When you sing about help, right? Do all of the feelings come back to you from when you were sitting down writing the song?
Yeah, it feels really empowering to listen back to it. Because that moment I never really written about that before. I think it's super challenging to write a song about like your own personal struggles and things that you don't really even admit to yourself. So to like listen back, it's like, wow, I am so proud of myself for being honest, for being open and I listen back to that song and I'm just like, it's almost a reminder. Like I don't have to be this person. I don't have to be so in control and guarded, It's kind of like a little message to myself too when I listen back.
Tell us, what are you working on next?
Yeah, so I have a whole EP coming out and we just finished that. It was produced by Kizzo and Autumn Rowe, and they're an amazing production songwriting duo, and they're incredible. And they started developing my project with me right when I moved to LA. And this is the next project, and I'm super excited for it. We got lots of fun visuals, and it's going to be a really exciting new chapter.
Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming
I
back
don't
on.
want to go. EJ, I can talk to you all day.
Come back, chat with us. You always
I'm
have
gonna
a
wear
home here.
some like maybe lime green pants or something. We got a hot pink. We got some bright colors.
Yo, the hot pink pants were fire. Were fire.
Thank you. I miss those pants.
Where are they?
They actually might be here. Oh my! I should have worn them, but see, it's just a Zoom. We missed a lot in the Zoom.
I don't even have on pants right now, so it is what it is. Elle, thank you so much.
Goodness. Thank you so much, EJ. This is so much fun.